And welcome to Utopia Coliseum, and welcome to week 11 of Minor League Esports. We are here for the Sunday showdown, kicking things off here at 6 PM Eastern, and I am your host, Fallen, for the first half of this broadcast. And joining me is a man I have had the privilege of casting with on not one occasion, but two occasions. And he is a wonderful, wonderful human being. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you, Navanta.
I appreciate the kind words. Checks are in the mail, but you're right. MLE action starts now. This weekend, we already freed Sleague on our main channel, and we have more Rocket League action on the second channel. We got this hot matchup in the Premier League, Dodgers and Tyrants.
Yeah, the Dodgers and the Tyrants both in the Volcanic Division. It is a massive match in terms of playoff implications for both teams. The Tyrants currently sat in third with a 14-16 record. If our stats are correct, please correct me in chat if they're wrong. And we have the Dodgers 13-17 behind them. There is no way for either team to make it into a playoff spot this week, but they could easily set themselves up for a good result coming into the next week, into the final week of Minor League Esports.
Yeah, we're in the thick of the regular season, but the more you think about it, this week is pivotal for both teams. Like we were saying right before the show went on the air, if the Dodgers are swept, they're out of contention for the playoffs, so they have a lot to play for here this afternoon.
Yeah, and them fielding the lineup of Delta and Goodneighbor, Delta being one of their standout stars all season long, leading their goals, saves, shots, and demos all across the board. Whilst on the opposite side of the field, the Tyrants, they're fielding Zach and Els, a big lineup here for them. Zach being a very impressive player, 5.23 overall MVPR. It is better than the entirety of the Dodgers team, barring one player who is, I don't think, on the team anymore. So really, the Tyrants, they look poised on paper to take this series, but we know the series aren't played on paper and it could easily go either way.
Go either way is an understatement. We've seen that all weekend and more. But I'm looking at Zach currently having the highest MVPR in the rating. It looks like the team will be centered around him for his attack and maybe on defense as well.
Yeah, and with the result from yesterday, the Elite 3-2 in the Bulls, Tyrants can no longer be eliminated or move into a spot, but they will knock out the Dodgers with that 5-0 win. And again, that win would be so out of the blue for the Tyrants. It would really bolster their playoff opportunities, considering they will be playing either the Elites or the Bulls next week, so they will have a chance to earn their spot in that sense. But as we get the players onto the field and ready for game number one, I'm going to throw a prediction out there. I'm saying the Tyrants will take this one 3-2.
Ooh, I like that. I'm with you. Why not?
Alright, good kickoff start here for the Tyrants. Looking for a double tap immediately off the wall was Zach, but not getting the shot that he would have liked there. And Els are going to try and control this now in his own half. Will have the boost stolen out from underneath him by Goodneighbor. Good flick though, will force the Dodgers onto the back foot. Zach will demo Goodneighbor, and this is an opening opportunity here for the Tyrants, but a great recovery save from Delta to keep that one away. And 30 seconds gone, no team with a goal just yet.
It didn't work out in their favor there, but I like the fact they're hitting it hard. Look, goals can come fast and pretty furious here in the Premier League, so you have to strike pretty quickly. So even though it didn't go their way, I like the fact they have that aggressive nature.
Yeah, now an opportunity. He falls into the middle, but deciding to peel off was Zach. Delta allowed to clear this one away. We'll look to try and read it on the sidewall, but we'll back off again to allow Goodneighbor to make that first challenge. Now Zach doesn't get the flip, and Goodneighbor with a good challenge here. I feel like Delta was a little out of position, wasn't going to be able to make a touch. There's Els off the ceiling, almost getting a goal off of that. And now, immediately, back and forth gameplay here. We're going from side to side as often as you like. Now an opportunity for Goodneighbor, gets the flick off. That one's over the crossbar and wide of the net. And the Tyrants will look to try and break, almost fighting away past Delta. That would have been a great goal for them if they could have found it. And so far, a very back and forth start to this series.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I like the fact we're getting this trend now. We're in week 11 of the season. A lot more teams are starting off the ball a lot more quicker, getting in each other's faces. They're in mid-season form, and it's showing right now. So it's only a matter of time before we get the first goal, and it may focus or may benefit the Tyrants here. And it does, with a shot from Zach in the left corner. Fallen, what? Am I Nostradamus or what?
Honestly, I think you might be. That was a great air dribble from Zach into the double tap. beautiful shot from him to send the Tyrants 1 goal up. We mentioned he was the man to watch out for. He was the guy with all the stats coming in, and now he's looking to further that by really putting the Dodgers to the sword. But Delta, not one to be outshone, looking for his own double tap, just didn't have enough height to reach that one, and the ball will be cleared deep into the Dodgers half.
I know the feeling, you know, you get scored on pretty quickly. You're trying to get something back to make it level because it changes the complexion of the game. But again, didn't work for him. Accuracy may be a problem later on, but right now it's all fair play.
Oh, that one almost stuck its way in there off of the clearance from Zach and Els, and that one will find its way in. Els reading the challenge absolutely perfectly from Good Neighbor, and the Dodgers find themselves in a 2-goal deficit with just 2 minutes and a half to go.
A little bit of a bold move to go for the follow-up there. I know a lot of teams would probably rotate it back and set themselves up for the defense, but it pays off for them. 2-0 Tyrants.
Yeah, now the ball will be in their half to start off this attack. Els looking to try and clear this one. Gets the flip. Nope, did not find the touch he would like, but instead will get the pressure there. That one's above the net. Delta's going to be forced to pinch it away. Good Neighbor now looking to try and follow this one up, but a good quick challenge from Zach. He's just looking to apply pressure. Els with the shot. Hits the bar but out. The Tyrants can't extend their lead, and now the Dodgers with a nice little passing play into the midfield can't connect on it. They can't half the lead when really they need to start finding more offensive opportunities, otherwise they're going to fall further down the field.
Yeah, looks like the Dodgers dodged a bullet there with that third goal attempt. I hate puns, but I just made one. But if they're not careful, I mean, they'll score for them. They have to get themselves in the game and get on both sides of the ball, not be that reactionary, because you open yourself up for attacks just like that.
Beautiful passing play there. Els teeing that one up in front of the net. Knew he didn't have to shoot because Zach was there. Perfect read. Open net. Good Neighbor not rotated back in time. Tyrants lead 3-0. The Dodgers are... They're looking a little bit shaken on defense. They're not able to get that rotation as fluent as you feel they might like. And the Tyrants now looking to style on them. That one almost found its way past Delta, who was forced to make a save there and guts to save your middle for it. Zach trying to take that shot, but a good challenge from Good Neighbor will keep it away for the moment. But the Tyrants are just outpacing the Dodgers right now, and it feels like there is a complete gulf in pace.
I think that's an understatement there. I'm not sure if it's the nature of overtraining the day of, get a couple scrims in there before the game and get used to a pace. But the Tyrants have been so good at finding the holes in the Dodgers defense, which I have to admit is not that hard to find the way they've been lackadaisical on their defense. For shots just like that, 4-0 the Tyrants, and we have, 4 more games to go after this?
Yeah, that is just style points and a half there. Zach gets the shot. That counts as a double tap. I don't care, that one. That one was absolutely phenomenal from him. That one deserves a Player of the Week nomination, if I do say so myself. And if you do think that was worthy of a Player of the Week nomination, as I do, feel free to clip that in the Twitch chat. Send it over to the Twitter, at MLE Esports GG with the hashtag Player of the Week, or send it over to the Discord and the Player of the Week channel. The winner will get a free case of balls. Garana delivered right to them. A great play here for the Dodgers, though. That one was a great passing play. They get their first goal of the series.
Hey, it makes a lot to pull one back. That shows you haven't given up on the game here. But with down 3 goals with a minute to go, maybe it's a little too late for game 1.
I mean, you never know in a series like this. It can go completely the opposite way. We've seen teams come back from almost insurmountable odds before, and the Dodgers looking to try and repeat one of those performances here. There is still a chance for them to do so. They just need to find some quick goals here, and with Good Neighbor trying to come up forward, he hasn't got any boost, but he will bump Els backwards. That will allow Delta a challenge, but again, Els just dominating that 50 game in the midfield, just stopping the Dodgers from getting anything going. But there's an opportunity sent home by Good Neighbor, and they half the lead. It's 2-4 now. The Tyrants lead is down to 2.
I think, again, the Dodgers must have heard me ragging about them with another goal on the board. Look, I got to say, there is a difference between good teams and the great teams stick with it even if they're down. Even if the game doesn't go the way for the Dodgers, I have a lot of respect for the guys for trying to get on the ball to chop down this lead.
Yeah, Good Neighbor, that one's on target. Zach forced to make a good save there at the near post. The Tyrants lucky to not have their lead drop to 1. But now, trying to get some offense going. Zach in the midfield couldn't find the switch he wanted. Els will get the first one here. We'll look to try and follow this up, but a good challenge from Delta will keep that ball momentarily out of their net. That one almost worked its way in. Zach there now, trying to capitalize on it. We've got 5 seconds left in this game. Can the Dodgers get a goal? They get a quick off one. They can't find a way past Els. That will secure game number 1. The Tyrants will take it. And whilst they may have done it well to begin with, they sort of fell off there towards the end.
Look, we can talk about the Tyrants and how great they are in Game 1, and I think it's going to maintain them in Game 2, but the Dodgers do have some things they have to figure out. I mean, look, you scored 2 goals against a very good team, but you conceded 4. What is going on with your defense? You're giving them way too much space. There's no way Zach should be ballerina dancing all over your side of the pitch. So shut that down for Game 2, and you may have a chance.
Yeah, they felt like they were consistently on the back foot for the opening 4 minutes. They finally broke out of their half towards the back end of that game, and you could see the change in style of play. The Dodgers started taking advantage of some of those missed touches in the midfield, were able to get more opportunities and scoring more easy goals that they feel like they should be able to get on a consistent basis. But the fact that it took till the very last minute for them to find any of that momentum is not a good look for them going into the series. But of course, they've now got the momentum on their side. They're looking ahead to game number 2. They have those last 2 goals. I feel like there is a way for them to get back into the series. They just need to start applying more pressure in the midfield, and they'll be able to work their way forward. But again, they're not out of this series yet. It's only game 1. Everything is still to play for, and remember, they are looking to take at least a game in this series, otherwise they are out of playoff contention. It's that close in the Volcanic division. I feel like they can do this. I feel like they can find a way to get a game win here.
The chance is definitely there. Good neighbors show up to play, overperforming of what we thought based on our scouting reports. So now it's just teammate. That's what it has to be. It has to be Delta to step up. It's to be the other on the right side of the flank, to be able to be the engine to start midfield challenges, and the Dodgers may have a chance in Game 2.
Already, though, to start game 2 off, the Tyrants have taken a massive controlling possession, and they will find the first goal. 16 seconds in, Zach buries this one home.
Look at this tech shot. Zach comes around, curveballs it. I mean, goodness me, Fallen, what?
Yeah, that is Premier League quality right there. That's your 1700 MMR and up level quality. This is the level of play we've come to expect out of Premier League, but there's an opportunity for Delta. Almost outpaces Els completely. Good neighbor now. Looking to try and create some offense as well. That one will come off the backboard. There's no read there from Zach. It's now a 1v1. Delta's got one man to beat, who comes out with the squishy save. Els with a wonderful save to keep this game at a 1-goal lead for the Tyrants.
Brave shot on goal. Didn't work in his favor, but I like the fact they're still being aggressive. Look, the moment you start hanging back, the moment you wait for counterattacks, that's when the game is lost. The Dodgers still taking it to the Tyrants. They still have a chance.
Brilliant play there from Zach. Almost bumped Good Neighbor out of the net to make sure that he couldn't make the save, but didn't work out. He actually bumped him into the ball. Now Good Neighbor looking for the ceiling shot. Zach with a great read off the backboard. Els now looking to try and control this one in his own half. Looks to take it away from Good Neighbor. Will do, but loses the boost battle in the process. Zach now looking to try and bring this one forward. Has it past one. Looking to try and tee this one on. That one's almost dipping in on target, but good clearance away from the Dodgers defense, and they will hold for the moment. But there, that is the difference in pace. Els sneaking that one past Delta, keeping the ball right back in the Dodgers half, stopping them from getting any momentum going forward. It's that level of consistent 50s that has really convinced me, and I think a lot of the viewers at home, that the Tyrants are looking like the more dominant team here in this series.
I agree. It takes a little bit of resolve, and Els does it too. It takes a little bit of resolve to look at a 50-50 and still follow through when the ball is loose after the fact. Here was a clear. It wasn't right there. LS came up. Els got it with the score right down the middle. 2-0 Tyrants, and there's still time for more in this hit parade.
Absolutely, and really, the Tyrants, that was a great little play there from Zach. He gets the 50. The ball goes out to the midfield, immediately takes out the defender. Just gets him out of the way, knows that Delta's out of position, and decides, I'll do it myself, and give Els a really easy goal to shoot at, as long as he's quick. And, well, knowing that Els has had the pace all series long already, it feels like that's a safe bet to make. Delta, though, with a good 50 there on onto Zach, forces Els to make a save. Now Good Neighbor getting it over the top of one, but Zach is there on the goal line. That feels like a small sort of look into this entire series so far. The Dodgers, they've gotten past that first man, but they have struggled so often to find their way past the second, who has just been rotating absolutely perfectly. There's a mistake though, and Delta can't punish it. Finding only the crossbar, the Dodgers remain 2 goals down at half-time.
Yeah, it looks much like the plan going into this was having Good Neighbor as a second option to feed Delta, but Delta has been out ice cold currently. His shots on goal hasn't been great. His accuracy is struggling a bit, and when that breaks down, the game plan breaks down. So if you have Good Neighbor that's hot, I would say switch up the plan. Have Delta feed Good Neighbor until Delta gets warm.
Yeah, we've seen Delta be a very good defender, getting, I believe, 5 saves in that last game. He was consistent on that defensive side of things. Now tees up Good Neighbor, almost like you said. You always predicted that one like Nostradamus, but a great save from Els once again, keeping the Dodgers at bay. He has been absolutely fundamental in the Tyrants' lead so far, and is still outpacing, outperforming every other player on the field. He is having a series to remember already, and we're only in game number 2.
This has been a better game display from both teams. We're seeing more of the interlocking action of both Tyrants players, and we're seeing the trust. The Dodgers are actually having more confidence in each other's teammates as well. It's only 2 goals scored, a lot different complexion than game 1, but there is still time to score 2 goals, because we all know following 2 goals with 90 seconds to go is a long time in Rocket League.
Yeah, there's so much still to play for in this game. Els now with a 50 in the midfield with Good Neighbor, can't find a way past him. Zach will be forced to try and control it. Limited boost to work with, so Els will dive in. Fair play to try and help out his teammate. Good Neighbor looking for a demo onto Els there, but couldn't find it, and almost teed up Delta for a chance, but they're not wanting to overcommit. They're very scared, very timid of making that push up the field, because they know just how capable the Tyrants are at creating opportunities out of nothing. Here comes Els now. He's going to go up for something fancy, I feel like. He's got the ball, got the boost, air dribble all the way across the net. Gets the perfect 50, but still can't find a way past Delta, and Good Neighbor will keep Zach out. Great defensive display there for the Dodgers to keep them at bay. It's still 2-0. They need to find some offense, so they can't afford to keep sitting on defense.
Yeah, it's definitely a human nature type thing. If I'm punching you in the face, Fallen, not that I would, you put a hand up to block yourself, right? So you want to come back and go on defense. But look, you have nothing to lose. You're down 2 goals. Go for attack. Have more attacking football to open up some new opportunities you may not have even considered.
Good demo there from Delta to try and open up the field slightly for Good Neighbor. Good Neighbor will go up, but Els just goes over the top of him, gets the ball, clears it away. 5 seconds left, and Els once again just outpacing the Dodgers players to the ball. Will let Good Neighbor have an opportunity. He'll go for the flick, can't find a way past Zach, who will get the save. And game 2 goes to the Tyrants. They move to match point, heading into game number 3.
Yeah, match point already. We're hitting game 3. Both teams have a market improvement over their game 1 showing, but the Tyrants are just in sync. Now, the only thing for the Dodgers right now you want to do is to be a bit of a nuisance. Get in between passes to break down that connection between Els and Zach, but they haven't figured that out quite yet, and the scoreline has reflected that.
Yeah, and really, I feel like they need to start taking out that second man more often. They're beating the first man like it's nothing. Mm-hmm. We've seen that many a time, but they haven't been able to beat the second man, the last rotation. Half the time that is Els on the goal line. 5 saves this game just to prove that he has been a defensive wonder wall for them. But yeah. This is no oasis for the Dodgers. They are struggling to find a way through. I think that's the wrong band, but we're going to go with the pun anyway. Either way, as we look... I think we'll get DMCA'd for that. Looking ahead to game number 3, the Tyrants, the Dodgers. The Tyrants need to find a way to keep the Dodgers at bay, otherwise they're going to find themselves struggling to really keep up this level of power and precision that they've had if they can't keep the Dodgers in their own half, because we've seen before the Dodgers are able and capable of scoring, and Good Neighbor almost starts things off strong for the Dodgers right there.
Look, if you're the Tyrants, you know the Dodgers hesitate when they try to go up in the air, so I'll go in the air as long and as hard as I can. And if you're the Dodgers, you going to goal in a straight line isn't working. I said this yesterday in our on the broadcast. Use the flanks to your advantage. Confuse your opponents. Have them stretch out thin, and you may have a shot on goal.
Yeah, sometimes going through the corners is the only way to get the ball on target. Delta there looking for a double tap, couldn't find a way past the last defender. And once again, the Tyrants able to counter-attack here up the field, but Zach will just give Good Neighbor the ball for the moment. The ball will fly back into the Tyrants' half, where Els is comfortably waiting with the 100 boost now in the pocket. And just trying to bait out Delta. Brilliant play there, just holding up play. Doesn't need to go for that, doesn't need to give him the ball clean, just decides to hold on to possession. And now the Tyrants, with one man already committed from the Dodgers, can just push both forward. Another opportunity there, good save from Delta to keep it away, but the Tyrants, they have a strategy here and they're executing it perfectly.
Yeah, I like the fact that Zach is using one of the unseen skill mechanics of Premier League. It's not going fast, it's not booming, it's restraint. Being able to read your opponent for an extra half second to make your next move is making him seem like he is a visionary on the field. And that's because he knows when the Dodgers go left, you can bank right and open up a path to victory here.
Good neighbor looking for a way past Els, couldn't find it. Els now with limited boost in the tank will look to try and clear that one across to Zach, but good neighbor with a good running challenge back, just able to get in front of it. Then gets a good 50 with Zach. That's sort of what they need to do, but they're just being a little bit too passive on defense. And again, that opened up an opportunity there for Zach, but good neighbor with a good recovery will get in front of it. Zach again though, high pressure, high press up the field, almost finds a way to put that in past Delta. And now the Dodgers, both players in the same position, chasing the same ball. A good boost still there from Delta. He'll pass it out to the midfield, but there's no one there for the Dodgers. Good neighbor all the way back, and now Zach, with time, with the flick reset, will send it home. A beautiful goal to send the Tyrants a goal up.
Yeah, this happened on the other side of the pitch. The Dodgers were occupying the same space, left them open on the opposite side, and Zach made them pay like a bully after school. 1-0 the Tyrants.
Absolutely wondrous goal there from Zach. That is another Player of the Week nomination if I've ever seen one. A beautiful goal, really just showcasing the level of quality. How one mistake can really cost you in Premier League. How literally a single misplay, both players pushing up at the same time, leaving one too far forward and one just trying to recover on defense, that can cost everything in a series. And right now the Dodgers, they need to find a way to get better offensive chances. Here comes Delta looking for that solo flick again, but they can't seem to make it work. Good neighbor will send that one towards the net. It's just off target, but Els will be there to read it either way. And now Els with time, with boost, looking to try and take this one forward, can't find a way past Delta, and good neighbor will look to clear this one away.
I like the fact here that the Dodgers have held the Tyrants to only one goal with 4 minutes elapsed. Or 3 minutes elapsed. It may sound like a small victory because, again, they're down in Game 3, but their defensive skills has improved over 3 games, which tells me they're good at reading the Tyrants' strategy. They're good at reading their plays. They just now got to find a way to shut it down.
Yeah, now they're trying to get their own offense, but again, both players just sort of too far forward to really make anything of it. Delta there, and good neighbor just getting absolutely mind-gamed by Zach in the air. That's 2 goals for Zach on 3 shots, and it's 2 goals for the Tyrants.
Good night. Breaking someone's axles in the air, call that Cirque du Soleil. Here's a goal for you, Zach. 2-0.
That may be my favorite one. That's it. You have peaked with that one quote right there. I am taking a breather after that one. The Dodgers now, they need a minor miracle if they're to find a way into this series. You can feel the mentality sort of dropping. There is no chemistry plays, there are no teamwork plays. Here's the first attempt to one, but Delta's not there for it to put it away. They can't find a way past this Tyrants defense who have stood so firm for the majority of this series. It feels like every time the Dodgers have come forward, both of the players, they've just not been able to get it past, at times, even the first one. Now, good neighbor gets the flick over one. It's a 1v1 situation. He'll get it over Els. That one's above the crossbar. Delta will look to put this one away, and he will. The Dodgers, they have their goal that they absolutely need.
So now the defensive solids, as it were, even though they were down 2 goals, left this wide open for Delta to score. Hopefully this will be the confidence boost Delta needs to be more of an impact player for this Silver team.
Yeah, really, the Dodgers, they need to find a way through now. One more time. Either through a good neighbor flick again, or they need to find a passing play, because right now they are struggling to find those lanes for the passing players. There's a good clear from good neighbor. That one's almost on target. Almost found a way to put that one home. Delta now tees it up for himself. That one's off the crossbar, but Zach is there with a great read to keep out good neighbor. Delta now, almost finds the pass across to good neighbor. But again, the pressure mounting. Dodgers now looking for a ceiling shot. He baits out Els. He gets one out of the way, leaves it open for good neighbor, and the Dodgers have an equalizer.
You saw Delta there with a little bit of a skill shot, almost put himself out of position, but good neighbor is there. Oh, I get why he calls himself good neighbor now. Ha! Here's a goal for you. We're level, 28 seconds to go.
The Dodgers are back in this game. They now have a foothold. Can they get a third? Can they push on? Or are the Tyrants going to find their comeback? We're about to find out. 20 seconds left on the clock. The Dodgers have everything to do in this series. They need a game win to stop themselves from being eliminated from playoffs. That was an attempt there from Delta. Good demo from him onto Zach, who made the save, but the Tyrants off of the respawn, looking so much more composed going forward. The Dodgers are now just sitting back. They don't want to lose this. They want it to go to overtime. That's a double commit on defense, though. Els will tee it up in the air. Good neighbor with a good 50, though, will clear it away. The Dodgers will take this to Game 3 overtime. Everything is still to play for. Can they pull it off, or are the Tyrants destined to take the series before it even gets going?
Yeah, first goal wins the game, and if you know how we've been watching these two teams, the longer that goes on, the more it favors the Tyrants because the Dodgers tend to be scoring reactionary goals. So if you're the Dodgers, you got to do whatever you can to get your head down and get a goal here to make sure you're stemmed away from eliminating from the playoffs.
Yeah, they need to find a goal quickly, you feel, otherwise the Tyrants are just going to stop piling on pressure. But the Dodgers now with a quick attack. Good neighbor goes off the ceiling. Is he going to find the touch? No. Zach with a great read on the aerial, and then a good clear from Els. It leaves Zach with an open net, and that is all he wrote for game number 3. The Tyrants will send the series before it even gets going, 3-0, and we still have 2 more games to play.
What a soul-crushing way to drop a game, the Dodgers. They did everything right. They clawed the way back into an overtime period, but Zach, as the kids say, is just OP, and the Tyrants with another one.
Yeah, as one of the kids, yeah, we do say he's OP. He's one of the best players currently on this field, if not the best. He was so consistent throughout the entirety of this game, getting every goal that the Tyrants scored, getting the majority of the saves. Really, it felt like the Tyrants were just sort of waiting for the Dodgers to come forward. Because for the majority of the stats in this game, you can see 11 shots to the Dodgers, 4 for the Tyrants, and the one that didn't go in was saved by Delta. That is a level of consistency that you do not see that often in Premier League. High shooting percentages are not typically something you see. Typically, you find a lot of shots getting put on from both teams, a lot of back and forth gameplay, but in this case, Zach and Els in sort of by proxy has just, they've taken this series to a whole new place that we didn't even know a Premier League series could go.
Yeah, you know, a lot of ways it's like boxing when it comes to the Tyrants strategy, right? They hit a couple haymakers, you saw the Dodgers wobbling. What do you want to do? You sit, you wait, you watch the footwork so you can hit that killing blow. I have all the respect in the world because it's very easy to get antsy and say, hey, let's run up the score. Hey, let's start stunting on them. But no, all the goals the Tyrants have made, while absolutely majestic, have been measured. And that's the reason, that's the difference. They're ahead in this series right now.
And the Dodgers have been getting goals in for the sake of just really just trying to hamper the Tyrants' offense. They've been finding themselves completely outclassed on the midfield side of things, and Zach, with an early bump, will get an early goal and immediately continue this momentum. If ever a soul-crushing start to a game, this is the start.
Yeah, man, getting faked out by geometry. Ball off the wall, Zach teed it up for himself, 1-0.
Yeah, not much else to really say about that other than that's a big goal, and it could be a playoff deciding goal. Here comes Els with the ability, gets a wave dash, but doesn't get past Delta, who's, I feel like, just resigned himself to playing a slightly more defensive game, though he will come forward here. Els will just beat him out in that challenge, and now another one. This good play there from Good Neighbor, can't find a way to get it into Delta though in the midfield, and it will be cleared away momentarily. The Dodgers are starting to mount some offense of their own. A misread there from Els will tee up Good Neighbor, but Zach just diving in out of the blue like Superman out of the turnstile. He just flies in and saves the day for the Tyrants, keeps them a goal ahead.
Yeah, the Dodgers have been doing this organization-wide, and you know what? It probably worked out for them. I was going to say that 12-6 formation in front of the net, but you saw right here, Good Neighbor with a shot down Broad Street, and Delta coming from that left flank. Always going to fake a shot, misses it, and also causes an own goal. We're level, which is one of the more clever shots I've seen so far.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Delta was honestly going to put that one in for Good Neighbor. I think Good Neighbor called him off, thinking it was already in, but again, that one almost didn't find its way into the back of the net for the Dodgers. They almost didn't find the equalizer. But right now, you've got to be thinking, the Dodgers, they have to find a way to get more consistent offense. They've been pretty decent at putting shots on target. They need to find more consistent, high-quality offense, if I was to correct myself really quickly. They need to find a way to do what they've been doing at certain points throughout this series on a more consistent basis. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves back in a rut against the Tyrants once again.
You know, to their credit, they've been playing consistently better game after game after game, but a little bit too little, a little bit too late here. They already lost a series. Now you're just playing for pride now. How many games can you get? But it says a lot that with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go, we're tied. They're not down by 2. They're not down by 4. They're level with a Tyrants team that has been absolutely off the wall all day.
Yeah, and now the Dodgers back on their own defense. Here comes Els. Limited boost to work with. Gets the flip reset. Can't find the touch off of it, though. And Good Neighbor and Delta just a double commit there. Both players bumping each other. There's a level of cohesion that has sort of gone out the window here. Both players struggling to come to terms with the fact that they may or may not be already eliminated from playoffs at this rate. Delta now looking to try and take a hook shot, maybe. Goes for the flick over the top, but Zach is there on defense, just doing enough to keep that one away. Good Neighbor off of the backboard, but no one's there to follow it up, and Els will clear it up the field to Zach, who will get it over Delta. A wonderful drive from Zach. Absolutely thunderous goal. The Tyrants 2-1.
It says something that it's like one of 4 Player of the Week candidates here. The Dodgers are frustrated. They're budging together. They're trying to be heroes now to save a win, and the Tyrants are just exploiting that. And Zach made them pay once again.
Yeah, it's a game of fundamentals, and right now the Tyrants, they've just been fundamentally better on the field. There is no other way to word it, and really it's no fault of the Dodgers. They're not playing poorly. It's just the Tyrants have had a little bit more when it comes to offense. They've just been a little bit more consistent, a little bit more cohesive on the field. Their plays, their rotations have just been slightly more on par with a team that is pushing for playoffs as opposed to the Dodgers. Delta, though, will look to try and find the back of the net. They can't put it past Zach or the post, and the Dodgers now trying to cover back on defense. A good touch there from Delta will clear that one to the midfield line. Another one will send it into the Tyrants' half, but they're sort of giving the Tyrants so much room in possession, and there's Els just proving why he is one of the best mechanically 50 players in the entirety of this series, as Zach will send that one home. It's 3-1 Tyrants.
So we're talking about overtraining, right? You can tell the Dodgers have practiced and they're a really good, capable team, but sometimes day of, you sprint for too long, you do drills for too long, and you're just a bit slow on the ball. See, mental issues, your mental toughness is an actual factor of playing Rocket League, and the Dodgers are getting beat both mentally and on the game score by the Tyrants.
Yeah, now Delta looking to try and send this one towards the net. Looks for a demo, but can't find it. Good Neighbor forced to back off. With limited boost, he will get it past one. Can he get up the field to Zach, though? Because that bump from Els could have been very crucial. A good dunk there from Good Neighbor, but it's just off target. Couldn't find a way to put it past Els. Now Els looking to take this one forward. Gets it off the backboard. Tees it up for Zach. Gets the touch, but a good save from Good Neighbor to keep that one away. The Dodgers not able to find a way to break out of their own half on a consistent basis by taking the Tyrants out of the game, but there's a good chance. Again, goes wide. Delta cannot find the target, and the Dodgers are left to rue missed opportunities here in game number 4.
Yeah, unfortunately, one of many, but there's still some time to get one more goal on the board. Now, if you're Zach or if you're Els, you got to think about shutting down when the other team tries to get sweaty. If they get more aggressive, they get more on the ball, they probably try to go for a demo or something. If you're the Tyrants now, you got to be careful of that to open up opportunities to score, like that one right there, possibly.
And Zach will put it home. A brilliant start to that play from Els. That is absolutely amazing. Gets it over one with the flip, then goes under so he doesn't get bumped, then gets back up and dunks in the 50 up to the crossbar.
Yeah.
A level of play we have yet to see out of really any Premier League player, just sort of that same level of mechanical gift. A good bump there from Good Neighbor will try and tee up a shot, but Delta was not ready for that position, and Els is forced to make a save now off of Delta's shot at the far post. Good Neighbor teed that one up perfectly. Delta not there to set it home, but right now the Dodgers, you can feel the mentality has gone. They do not want to be on this field right now as the Tyrants look to continue to further their lead. Can't find the 5th goal. Game 4 will go to them. The series locked up pretty much automatically at this point. But if they are to lose this next game, they are out of playoffs.
I mean, even if they win this next game, their prospects don't look that impressive. Look, if you're the Dodgers right now, you're probably saying, what do we have to do to beat these guys? They're everywhere. But the thing is, it's not that they're everywhere. The Tyrants are just a little bit more patient, waiting for you to make that attack. So if they've been able to counter or they're able to shoot around you, what do you have to do? How do you slow down even more? You don't. You try to confuse your opponents. You go wide. You go narrow. You make them stretch out and go, what are they doing? Stop being predictable. You have nothing to lose right now. Let's get some goals to bring some pride back to your organization.
Yeah, and we've seen some quality plays out of them. We've seen good bump plays, good aggressive plays in the final third. They've been able to get goals off of the Tyrants. They've just not been able to keep the Tyrants out forever. And really, they need to start finding ways to shore up that defense, I feel, because a best offense is a good defense. Teeing up from that, playing a counter-attacking style, which is something we thought we were going to see out of them from game number 1, but they just weren't able to make it work. And by the end of game 2, it felt like they were completely out of the series. There wasn't that same level of want and drive that we saw out of the Tyrants. But as we get ready for game number 5, the final game of this 5-match series, Els and Zach look to take their 5th straight game. Good Neighbor and Delta look to stop the rot. Can they keep themselves in any form of respectability in this series, or are they completely done for and the Tyrants will take it 5-0?
Yeah, when you're at sweep point, you're going to see a lot more of aggressive games. Teams don't want to be swept, and teams want to do the sweeping. So I expect a lot more bumps, a lot more demolitions, a lot more breaking up plays just by dropping that proverbial elbow.
Yeah, now Els will look to pinch this one. Delta will carry it back. Good Neighbor now looking to send this one. Maybe looking for a pass into the midfield. A good demo from Delta will take Els out of the game. Looks for the pass, but Zach reads it. Inch perfect. I thought that was destined for the net, but off the crossbar and out. And a good rotation back from Delta to keep that one away. But he doesn't know when to go. And really, how would you know? Because right now, they are a goal down with 40 seconds gone.
A shot booming across the pitch was not enough, but you had that tandem play of going from Els back to Zach and an insurance policy, and the Tyrants made it happen, 1-0.
Chat right now is filled with Dodgers and filled with Dodgers saying the Dodger way, miss open nets. That in itself is it's an interesting factoid, and that shot from Els was thunderous in the midfield, completely catching out Good Neighbor. Luckily, the Delta was there. A good pass to the midfield. Good Neighbor there for the reader, sends it home. A great passing play from the Dodgers. They get a goal back in this series.
You have made this Foundation League player his heart warm. Look at this. On the flank, like I said, to Good Neighbor, like I said, easy goal. One of the easiest goals they scored all series. If only they listened to me in game 1, it might be more competitive.
Yeah, it's been such an interesting series. We've seen so many possible opportunities. There's another passing play as Delta will send that one home off the kickoff. The Dodgers take, I believe this is their first lead in this entire series in game number 5. They've come out of the gate strong here off of the back of that, well, disappointing first goal for the Tyrants.
What did I say? The Tyrants are patient, so you got to go crazy off the wall. Use the flanks, use the wall, and now the Dodgers are in a lead.
Yeah, but now here comes Els with the mechanical ability, gets the flip reset, can't find a way past the first defender of Delta. Good Neighbor forced to clear it off his backboard from the touch from Zach. Els and Zach though, look at that, just a general pass back, you feel like he wasn't even looking at him, he knew where he was. Delta with a great free jump there though to make that save and keep Zach out. The Tyrants, they're not finding a way through just yet. There's another passing play to Good Neighbor. Can't find a way past Zach now, though. And it's a one-on-one situation. But a misplay there from Els has teed up Delta.
Oh, goodness me! Delta yeet! This guy was on both sides of the pitch like a roach when the light came on. Poked the counterattack straight down Broad Street. That's what I'm talking about, falling of the Dodgers back. Maybe, kinda, sorta.
My only question is, where was this Dodgers games 1 through 4?
Oh yeah, fair enough.
I have been looking for a series all time long, and now we finally found a series in this one. In game number 5, the Dodgers have turned up. They cannot lose them all, is the message from their GM, Inanimate J. I honestly believe them. I don't think they can lose all 5 games of the series. They do need to get 1 to keep any playoff hopes alive. And right now, Good Neighbor with a backflip on the wall will now try and add to their 3-1 lead. 3 minutes to go though, and the Dodgers, they're starting to look a little bit more lively now. Delta looking to try and get an opportunity, but a great recovery from Zach will clear it away, and now the Tyrants look to try and build some offense of their own.
Yeah, I love the fact the Tyrants are on the back heel for the first time there. It's interesting to see what their plan is when they're playing from behind. They're doing more of the same, which also means it's also easy for the Dodgers to exploit. Stick with the wide play, stick with going off the wall. You may have a fourth goal before it's all said and done.
Here comes Zach though now in a 1v1 situation with Delta. Looks to go over the top, but the shot was a little weak, not able to find a way past the man at the near post. Now Zach, once again, 1v2 this time, but still can't find a way past that man on the goal line. Good neighbor this time with the save. Delta misreads the jump in the air, able to just recover in time to put himself in a better position, but he's out of boost now. Gets a flip reset touch. It's not the greatest touch, and it will tee up Hells to make it 3-2.
That was unfortunate. You said they're out of boost there, but you know, the good neighbor was there and tried as he might. I hate to have that goal happen in slow motion, but there you go. The Tyrants are back within one.
There's a lot of memes going on in chat, including the fallen caster curse. If I have cast a curse this, Jay, I will PayPal you $50 an apology. But right now the Tyrants are starting to get some offense going. 2 minutes left in the game, and there was an opportunity there for Zach. Now Els coming off the ceiling, touches it down, looks for the ceiling shot. Both defenders commit. Zach now looking to try and drive it in at the near post, but can't find a way past Delta. The Dodgers will hold on to their 1-goal lead momentarily.
But for how long, Fallen? I like the way they've been going so far, but things seem to be a little bit shakier, more like the game's 1-4. Will they be able to get some more assurance runs for them?
I mean, right now I'm sort of hoping for my own... there's going to be a lot of angry comments directed at me as soon as we get off this cast. I feel like if the Dodgers aren't able to find this game 5, that one's teed up in the midfield for Good Neighbor, who will send it.
You always get angry comments, Fallen.
Say again?
You always get angry comments, Fallen.
I'm always going to get angry comments from Jay. I mean, it's just Jay. It's what he does. Anyway, back on gameplay. Good Neighbor clears this one away. Now maybe the Dodgers looking for a counter-attack here. Good Neighbor trying to tee this one off the ceiling. It comes down, but Delta demoed in the midfield. Els with a great rotation back to get that and to get away with any opportunities. Really, the Tyrants, they did a great job there to stop that drought from the Dodgers being completely washed up here, but they can't seem to find a way to get a third goal for themselves to tie this series up.
That being said, we're seeing a lot more demos, a lot more aggression on the field. I love to see it. I love to see aggression happening in Premier League because when they demo with authority. Like the Dodgers are in the driver's seat here. Can they hold on to the lead? I don't know. Time will tell.
Yeah, one thing you can always say about Premier League is when there's a demo, you know it's intentional. They don't normally demo just for the sake of getting a demo. They demo for opening up a play or to cut down a play. And right now, the Dodgers in a 1v1 situation. It's Delta versus Zach. Els is trying to rotate far post. A good flick from Delta. That one's on the goal line. He will send it home. The Dodgers will take game number 5 with that goal. They move 2 goals up with 7 seconds remaining.
Delta's ensuring that when the Dodgers get gear in the ML Sports shop, that people actually buy a couple jerseys. Fantastic strike. You're with it. They're over 4-2. The Dodgers, 7 seconds to go.
I will say that if I was not the Fox's GM, I would buy Tyrants merch. It looks absolutely gorgeous, but as of right now, the Dodgers, they've taken game 5. They've taken a game out of this series. They keep, I believe, their playoff hopes alive just for a little bit longer. They do lose the series 4-1, though, to the Tyrants, who will look ready for their matchup against the Elite. Their last playoff match, or playoff hope match, they need to find a win over the Elite if they are to find a way into the playoffs, but that is an incredible setup for the final week.
I felt like I watched 3 different series into one, and that's a good thing. If you're the Dodgers right now, you got to go back and watch the replays and see why with the first game your defense was porous, why in the third game you weren't aggressive, and why in the 5th game that wasn't there in games 1 through 4. But if you're the Tyrants, you were consistent, but you got to get better at defending the flanks. Once the Dodgers went to the wides, they were kind of off their own ball. So I think it's the perfect series for both of them to go back and watch the tape for.
Yeah, and if my series records are correct, that moves the Tyrants to 18-17, whilst the Dodgers move to, I believe, 14-21. Again, we're not sure if the stat sheet we have here is fully up to date, so please correct us if we are wrong, but next week we have Tyrants versus Elite. That will be the decider for who makes it out of Volcanic Division. There's so much on the line there, and then you got the Dodgers versus the Bulls. Dodgers needing a 5-0 sweep and results to go perfectly for them to find a way in. It really, every team is still in play, but there's still so much that all teams have to do to secure their spots.
You're not wrong, Follow. We said this week in and week out, every game counts and every series counts. And you say in the chat, whatever you mean, Caster Man, but this is what we're talking about. There's so many teams out here in all these leagues across MLE that are one game, one series of knocking on that playoff door and watching it from their couches. And I could tell you, this week is actually one of the more important ones, if I don't say so myself. So, yeah, I hope these guys can get in the playoffs because they have the heart, they have the soul, but it may not be that way just because of math.
Yeah, and we will be going to a quick intermission break, but when we get back, we will have the Academy League matchup between the Spectre and the Comets. The Spectre looking to try and put a stop to the rout in their season. The Comets looking to push on for playoffs. Everything still to play for. Do not go anywhere. You really don't want to miss this.